Hi, this is Ajanta ma'am, and today I'm back with another video, and this time it is the Julius Caesar, and the question, or I am going to analyze the character of Octavius Caesar. Antony's great expectations of Octavius's role. Octavius Caesar, who is he? Firstly, he is the nephew of Julius Caesar, and he is also the heir who appears very briefly in the play, but he plays an extremely vital role in the action of the play. When do we first hear of him? We first hear of him when a servant comes and informs Antony that Octavius is coming to Rome in response to the letters which Julius Caesar had written to him. The servant is stunned to learn that Julius Caesar has been assassinated. Antony bids the servant go back and tell Octavius about the murder of Caesar. And Antony also asks the servant to tell Octavius not to come to Rome just at that time. And after Antony has delivered his funeral oration to the mob, he receives information that Octavius has already arrived in Rome and is waiting for him at the house of Julius Caesar, where Lepidus has also joined him. Antony says that he would go to Caesar's house straight away in order to meet Octavius. And he is very happy that Octavius has come to Rome because he has already been able to incite the mob to violence against the murders of Caesar, and he thinks it is the right time for Octavius to be here. Now, Antony's expectations for Octavius is huge. He wants him to plan revenge upon the murderers, upon the conspirators. And Octavius, who is to inherit Julius Caesar's possessions, property, and power. And Antony obviously will play a subordinate role. But Antony still thinks that Octavius's presence in Rome at this juncture would greatly help the pro-Caesar Romans and would, of course, dampen the ambitious conspirators. Now, Octavius allows Antony to take major decisions. When Antony says that they should get rid of Lepidus at the earliest, Octavius says that Antony may do what he pleases in this matter, but at the same time he points out that Lepidus is tired and he is a trite, and a valiant soldier who should not be treated in that manner. Later, when the forces led by Octavius and Antony are confronted by the Republican forces, Octavius points out to Antony that the latter's misjudgment in having thought that the enemy would not come to face them but would remain on the hills, meaning on the upper regions, Octavius says that the enemy has come down to the plains of Philippi and is ready to confront them. However, Antony holds the opinion that the Republicans do not really mean to give them a fight because they know the superior military capability of the forces led by Antony and Octavius. When Brutus and Cassius are having an exchange of hot words with Antony, Octavius challenges them to a fight, saying that arguing makes them sweat, but that fighting would make them bleed. He then draws his sword and says that the sword will only go back in the scabbard only when it has avenged all the 33 wounds of his uncle. The conspirators had inflicted upon Julius Caesar's body. Now finally we find Octavius giving instructions to his soldiers to put an end to the Republican leaders. And he says, "Defiance, traitors, hurl we in your teeth." And Octavius further says that if Republican leaders have the courage to fight, they should come to the battlefield, and that if they do not yet have the courage to fight, then they can fight whenever they feel like it. Thus, Octavius shows himself to be a man possessing a true soldier's fighting spirit and a true warrior's bravery and courage. Thank you for watching my videos. Do continue to watch my videos for a complete insight into your Shakespeare, into your poems as well as prose. Do hit the subscription button as well as the bell icon for other such informative videos. Thank you for watching.